Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon for colleagues in Ulsan. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. So today we're gonna talk a little bit the innovation in Birmingham and the partnership that Birmingham and Ulsan are having and the opportunities that arise from this partnership. So my name is Luis Fernando Hageman. I'm Senior Apprentice Connected Places Catapult, which is an innovation accelerator for cities and transport in the United Kingdom. And we're working together with Birmingham and Ulsan on the Innovation Twins program and DIATOMIC. And this webinar is part of this event. So today's agenda, we're having a welcome introduction, of course, to the program, what Birmingham and Ulsan have been doing, how they're collaborating. And then we'll have our partners from Tech West Midlands, where Catherine Fuller will be presenting the innovation ecosystem of Birmingham, also Tech West Midlands, and also we'll present to you Birmingham Tech Week that's happening next month and the opportunities for those attending this event. Follow that, we have Chris Lau from the West Midlands Growth Company. Chris will be presenting the CleanTech Hub, which is one of the projects funded by the DIATOMIC program and is supporting CleanTech business to set up in the West Midlands. So a quick overview of the program. So Connected Places Catapult has been working on the UK, South Korea Innovation Twins program since 2021, when we launched this methodology where we use data to pair cities from the United Kingdom with South Korea based on their industries, their skills, their ambitions. So in 2021, we released our first report about this program, where we introduced 4 potential pairings, and Birmingham and Ulsan being one of them. In 2022, we start our engagement with those cities and stakeholders to display the opportunities that arise from this partnership and this program, and acquiring stakeholders and to be part and test how that partnership could work in the long term. And then via the Diatomic Fund, which is one of the programs from the West Midlands Innovation Accelerator. It's funded by the Department of Science, Innovation, Technology of the United Kingdom. We use much of that funding to engage with those partners and then create a city-to-city demonstrated where academics and business collaborated and create a project. And Tech West Midlands and CAT, we'll talk a little bit how that also was possible with their partnership as part of that funding. And then, of course, as a last phase and a long-term phase is scale collaboration, where Birmingham and Ulsan stakeholders are active in collaborating and addressing plans for the long-term engagement via different projects. So for the Ulsan and Birmingham relationship, they choose a couple areas to collaborate based on their strengths and ambitions. So the first part of this collaboration is how this partnership works. So this partnership has 4 pillars, which is about governance and long-term collaboration. So signing MoUs, agreements, how you put in place those partners and those projects together. The second pillar is about knowledge, experience, and information exchange, which this webinar is also part of. So the idea is to share as much as information as possible between partners and stakeholders in both cities to drive attention, to create interest in the program and in the collaboration, but also the best practice that those cities are having. The third pillar is about startup and SME support and internationalization, which is also part of the business trend where Tech West Midlands is collaborating also with UCCI and UTP and Ulsan to support those business and the innovators to develop their technology, but also to internationalize their business. And lastly, we have research around innovation and commercialization. So working with business, with academia, they're collaborating to create co-joint projects, bidding for funding and testing such technologies or solutions that involve cities wherever it's possible. As for the areas, the thematics of collaboration that they chose are circular economy and industrial symbiosis, also smart cities, clean technology, and medical and health tech. For circular economy, both cities and stakeholders are really committed to implement a circular economy practice to reduce waste and promote recycling, as well as foster sustainable production and consumption through circular economy principles. And as you can see this slide, those stakeholders in both cities, they also chose a couple teams related to this dimension, such as blue economy, natural capitalism, and regeneration design. On CleanTech area, which also will have Chris Lau speaking a little bit, one of those programs that they're developing as part of this partnership and the DIATOMIC program. So it's really to come together to achieve net zero carbon emissions through clean technology innovations while promoting clean tech solutions also for sustainable development. So really working with academia, civic organization, and business in those areas to create innovation that really help them to achieve those missions. And this goes from advanced materials, recycling the waste, sustainable fuel, and smart energy, for example. As for the health and medical technology, Ulsan and Birmingham or stakeholders are really interesting and enhance the healthcare delivery through innovation, healthcare technology solutions, and also promoting active lifestyles and mental health, which is support through community programs. So really using technology and innovation to help people to live better and healthier. And as there's less smart cities program dimension, we are developing and implement a smart city infrastructure and enhance urban living connectivity while promoting sustainable urban living through innovative supports. I just want to apologize on behalf because I just forgot to mention that you also could go in and zoom in more and activate the live translation to Korean if that helps for you. However, this webinar will also be updated on Distinctly Birmingham YouTube channel where you also can check with later day. Now I will hand over to Kat Fuller. From Tech West Midlands.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining the webinar. My name's Catherine Fuller. I'm COO at Tech WM. We are the organisation who has partnered with UCCI in Ulsan and also UTP. And as part of the DIATOMIC project, we are working together to encourage more relationship building between businesses and ecosystem providers in Ulsan and those in Birmingham. So as Louise said, there is the opportunity for translation at the bottom of your screen. You have to do it yourself and click onto the more and change the toggle to translation because perhaps my Birmingham accent isn't so easy to understand. So hopefully that will be helpful, and we will share the slides. My slides have got a couple of links in, one to a report and one to a video, which you can see after the call when you receive the slides in the follow-up notes. Okay, next slide, please, Louise. So Tech WM, the organisation that I work for, is the tech cluster body for the region. We're a not-for-profit organisation, and we work closely with regional government and private sector partners to support the growth of the tech ecosystem. We've worked in this space since 2019 and have managed to progress the tech economy in that time and have been recognised for that work. We work across different themes. We give support to businesses. We do some internationalisation, which is the work with Ulsan that Ulsan comes underneath, investment and skills. So we use those 4 pillars to kind of direct the work that we do with the tech cluster and the businesses within our network so that we can best grow the region. We have a big ambition to become a £100 billion economy by 2030. Next slide, please. At Tech Week last year, after visits and work with CCEI and UTP in Ulsan, we managed to sign the Memorandum of Understanding during Tech Week when we had lovely visitors from Ulsan come to Birmingham Tech Week, and we could reciprocate that visit to Ulsan in February this year, which was excellent. And so we took some businesses over to Ulsan to meet with businesses locally to you. And also we're now in conversation about having a return visit back to Birmingham Tech Week in October. So perhaps ask if that's something that you're interested in. Next slide, please. So as far as Birmingham Tech Week is concerned, it's one of the major activities that we do across the year. So aside from the work that we do in support, skills, investment and internationalisation, we also host Birmingham Tech Week. And we do that annually every year in the 3rd week of October. So this year, that's happening between the 20th of October and the 24th of October this year. We get about 8,000 visitors come to Birmingham Tech Week across the week. And we have a real mix of audience in terms of whether they are businesses who are at the beginning of their journey, big corporate partners, and lots of stakeholders who are interested in the tech scene that's growing in the Midlands at the moment. We also have international visitors from about 11 countries last year, I think, who also came. So, and this is growing each year because as we grow the tech event, and we're now the largest regional tech event outside of London Tech Week. We have an amazing person who looks after marketing, and we make a big impression on social media and also in our global and international media campaigns. So we're backed by some of the best brands, and IBM is our headline in 2025. Next slide, please. So here are just some statistics about how the week looks overall. We do about 60 events during Birmingham Tech Week, so there is something for everyone. The events cover all types of tech, so it could be a smart cities event, it could be a medtech event, it could be a event on a broader theme, skills or global growth. We have about 100 speakers throughout the week who take part in various panels, keynotes, fireside chats, workshops, and it's a very busy week for us as Tech WM. We're a small team, but we try to make sure that all of the tech areas that are represented in the Midlands can be represented during the week and showcased, and likewise that the speakers and people who exhibit at the event have their moment to connect with as many people as possible. Next slide, please. We've had lots of different speakers. This is just an image of the types of speakers that we get. So definitely this year, Amazon, Fujitsu, Microsoft, DSITs, I think are all confirmed for this year as well. So yeah, there's lots of different types of speakers. We have small business leaders as well as the big companies, depending on the topic of the day. Next slide, please. So across the week, we have some core events. So of the 60 events I mentioned, we have these ones which are core. We have a leadership breakfast on the Monday, and then which is where we have about 300 leaders from the region and key VIP guests from outside the region who get together to hear the tech announcements for the year ahead. We discuss the best ways to improve the tech economy over the next 12 months, and we reflect on successes that have been had by individual partners during that time. After the tech leadership breakfast, we have an equivalent kind of leadership debate for students. So we at Tech WM, we think it's really important to involve the next generation who are going to be the captains of our industries. So we have a leadership debate, but for students and graduates to be able to get key insights from them about the future of tech in their eyes and how we can relate that to industry. So that happens on Monday afternoon. And then we have an opening event, which is a big social activity and a big networking opportunity for all people involved in Tech Week. On Tuesday, we have the Digital Skills Symposium. So we look particularly at the gap of digital skills and how we can best support people in upskilling to be able to fulfill the roles that industry needs as tech develops, and also to match employers with their aspirations for business in terms of how they can best use skills that are available in the marketplace. We also have the Women in Tech event. In the UK, we have underutilised female representation in the tech economy. And so we run a Women in Tech event to support and be an ambassador for encouraging more women into tech and more women into leadership roles within tech. On Wednesday, we have the AI Symposium and Frontiers Day, as well as the Global Growth Day. So all of these are termed by us to be Midlands House activities. So this is the day where you can see everything there is to know about the Midlands in one day. So Frontiers is a super creative look at technology. It's like a futurology conference. The Global Growth Day looks at our relationships with global partners across the world, and also allows for 4 specific areas of technology to be looked at in detail. So that's CleanTech, MedTech, transport, and AI and quantum. So those 4 areas we go into deep detail from a global perspective, and we encourage a lot of global partners to be involved in that activity. And then, of course, the AI Symposium, which is positioning AI not as a vertical, but as a horizontal across all sectors. And that day culminates with a Universities and Innovation Investment Dinner, which is a VIP dinner in the Grand Hotel in Birmingham. And we also have a social for the wider audience who are not at the VIP level. On Thursday, we have a Scale-Up Summit, which is about helping businesses to start and grow. So there's lots of support to help businesses grow, and to also include, we have an investor track so they can get seen by investors and hear what investors need in their pitches and in their communications with the investor community to be able to land investment in the best way. And we also have Cyberverse, which is a full day on cyber technologies. And then on Friday, we have the Engineering and Developer Conference, which is a huge conference. It's 2 tracks this year, takes place in the ICC, and covers all things to do with engineering and software development. And then on Friday evening, we end the week with a black tie dinner and awards, where we announce the winners of the Tech Awards that have been happening over the last few months. And also, it's a lovely celebration event so that we can kind of get dressed up and celebrate the fact that another Tech Week and all of the announcements and showcasing that's happened so far. Okay. Next slide, please. But Louise, could you move it past? So the next slides in my presentation are really for you after, so that you can see in more detail what each day is like. I won't read them all now, but it just gives you some information about the size of each event, what the event is about, and how to where it's happening in case you are visiting Tech Week, so that you have the address information and the timings. Thank you. Every year at the end of Birmingham Tech Week, we write an impact report. So I've put the link so that you can see last year's impact report. And obviously at the end of this year, we'll write another one. It gives good information about the kind of the key announcements in each of those sectors that we spend a day on in the core events. And it also gives an overview of all the fringe events. So besides the events that I mentioned, we have about another 45, 50 events that happen during the week, which are much more narrowly focused events. So, for example, we might have something around data infrastructure in a specific area. So it gives the impact report, brings together all of those themes and puts together a report for you, so you can just search and find the kind of things that you're interested in. If that's smart cities, you can look for those keywords and it'll bring it out for you. It's impossible to go to every event during Birmingham Tech Week, so it helps people who had to make a choice between one event and the other event to be able to catch up on summaries of the events that they were able to go to. Next slide, please. So overall, as I said, from last year, the highlights of last year, we had about 60 events. We had about 100 speakers. There was 1.3 million given in prize money because we ran a competition called the One to Win, which was £1 million competition, although ultimately it was more than £1 million because the business who won was a brilliant business and managed to secure higher than the £1 million prize. We used 36 venues and we had lots of mayor support, ministerial support, government leaders and other senior leaders from industry all across the week. We have discussions around investment, digital skills, support and AI, which goes the themes of Tech WM and how we support businesses. And we also had lots of speakers. There was about 8,000 attendees and we had 120 million global impressions. So we would very much like you to come and be part of it this year. Next slide, please. Some of the announcements that we made in 2024 related to what the government was doing to encourage overseas investors to invest in Midlands businesses, to launch a digital skills consortium which would support the region, that our relationship between Ulsan and Birmingham had reached a formality where we could sign an MoU, and our intentions to collaborate around innovation were celebrated during that week. The Fortuna Fellowship initiative was launched for women in tech and female entrepreneurs so that they could increase the amount of investment that we give to female entrepreneurs. And some of the universities did a competition together. So we have 6 universities who all worked together, and the student teams from those universities had a big competition to find the best business spinning out of the university, and they received some prize money, as well as the main One to Win competition winner who won the 1.35 million. Next slide, please. We have lots of patrons who help us all the year round. So this is not just for Tech Week, but they definitely also get heavily involved in supporting us to deliver Tech Week, because we are a small team in the not-for-profit, so we rely a lot on partners to help us with generating all of the different activities across the week. And these are the a snapshot of those patrons that we work with who support us. Next slide. And this is the end of my presentation, but when you receive the presentation, the Birmingham Tech Week 24 link will take you to a video where you can see a summary of Birmingham Tech Week and get a feel for the type of week it is. Many thanks.
Thank you, Kat. Yeah, we have some time, so we'll just give me a second and we'll share this video with you where you can see a summary of what Kat just kindly present to us.
Hi, I'm Yanis, and I'm the CEO and founder of Birmingham Tech Week. And I'd just like to wish a warm welcome to everyone taking part in Birmingham Tech Week this year, whether you're already a part of the West Midlands ecosystem, finding new opportunities, or some of our friends from overseas. We're going to be featuring loads and loads across the week, from AI to cyber to 5G, and celebrating some of our sectors such as health tech, fintech, and our amazing creative industry.
We've got so many brilliant collaborators, so many amazing partners, sponsors, our patrons that support us all year through, really come together to make Tech Week the amazing thing it is.
This is one of the most exciting weeks of the year. There's so much to see and do, and you'll always be surprised. You'll always meet someone doing something in tech that you weren't aware of. You'll always meet a company that you didn't know existed that's actually on our doorstep. You'll make some connections that help you over the next year. You'll be inspired by some young people who suddenly you realise are going to be generating the next wave of innovation.
And on behalf of IBM, we are the top sponsors here at Birmingham Tech Week. What an amazing week it's been so far, and I'm excited about our long-term relationship with Tech West Midlands.
Hi there, I'm Steve Rigby from Rigby Group, and I'm delighted to support Yanis and Birmingham Tech Week and the Want to Win competition alongside our partners Hatch and Midfen.
Each year we bring more and more diverse, interesting, exciting new businesses, founders, partners to all really share together.
We're not only attracting people from around the West Midlands, London and other areas in the UK, but people travelling internationally because they want to be at this event. They want to see and learn about what's new and all the innovation that is happening.
It's been great to see the growth of Tech Week from year one. We're obviously now in year 6. The growth has been absolutely amazing to see firsthand.
When I created Birmingham Tech Week back in 2019, the idea was to bring 500 people together. Now 8,000 people take part in Birmingham Tech Week, with countries from around the world flying delegations in.
We've worked with tech businesses moving into the region, and one of the reasons that they were attracted to the West Midlands was that it had Birmingham Tech Week and Tech West Midlands representing the interests of the tech ecosystem.
The key part of the Tech WM strategy is to amplify the voice of the ecosystem And each year it gets bigger, our collective voice gets stronger.
We have so many more things that we would like to do and we will do in the coming years. But for me, it's much more than just Birmingham Tech Week. It's about the West Midlands tech ecosystem and the opportunity for our people, our businesses, and our innovators. It's just a great opportunity, Birmingham Tech Week, to show the world what we're truly capable of.
Thank you, Kat. And then you could see a little bit of Birmingham Tech Week, and I think we also spot some more colleagues from Ulsan that attended last year. So now I will hand over to Chris Lau from the West Midlands Growth Company, who will be presenting about the CleanTech Hub. Just a reminder, so if you have any question, please you're free to drop on the Q&A function. But after Chris, Kat will also be joining, and then we have a broad open floor for any questions that the audience might have. Chris. Your floor, Chris.
Thank you, Louise. I can't see the screen yet at mine. Yes, it has loaded. I think we can move on to the sort of 2 slides afterwards. Thank you. So my name is Chris Lau. I head up the international markets team at West Midlands Growth Company. So West Midlands Growth Company is the economic development agency for the region. We support international investors who might be interested in exploring opportunities in the region. And a key part of our role is that we bring public sector, which is our local authorities, our combined authority, which is headed up by our mayor, our HE sector, higher education sector, which is our universities, and private sector together. And we aim to sort of bring everyone together to create those opportunities. Next slide, please. So in terms of what we do to support companies, at the Growth Company, we provide a free and confidential services for companies that are looking to set up in the region. All our services are free of charge, as I mentioned. We help companies do an in-depth research, and we can do benchmarking against other locations, whether it's the likes of Singapore or Tokyo or any parts in Europe, from a cost and sector basis, why your business should consider locating here. We can help you build that business case to persuade your board. We can also help you look for premises. We can also help you hire staff. But most importantly, UK has very generous R&D grants, and we can help you access some of that, as well as signposting to some of the funding that's available. Next slide, please. So I think you've heard a little bit about the region from Kath earlier. I believe not many of you probably have been to Birmingham before, so I'll probably point out where we are. The West Midlands region is very centrally located within the UK. So on the top right-hand corner, you can see the UK map. And the yellow part is kind of the wider West Midlands region. At its core of it, the red parts within the map are 3 cities. So there are 3 cities in the region: Wolverhampton, Coventry, and Birmingham. And Birmingham, obviously, is the UK's 2nd city, so the largest city in the UK after London. Next slide, please. We are a very high-performing economy. Kath mentioned about sort of the region, in particular Birmingham being Europe's youngest city. We are extremely diverse. So out of our 4.7 million citizens in the region, we represent quite a wide, diverse sort of community. In terms of, to put it into perspective, in terms of the size of the region, we're about the same size as Singapore, 900 sort of square kilometers. Population-wise, about the same size as New Zealand, and economically, we're about the same size as some of the Central European economies, the likes of Slovakia and Hungary. And over the last 10 years, we've attracted record inward investment. Over the last 2 financial years, we have been the leading UK region in terms of FDI outside of London. Birmingham also has the UK's sort of highest rate of startups outside of London for the last 5 years. And most of them do succeed and are still in business after 3 years' time. We're quite unique in the UK sense that we still have a very strong manufacturing output and heritage. So in some sense, very similar to Ulsan. We are the UK's largest producer of cars in automotive, with leading brands like Jaguar Land Rover, Aston Martin, and many others. In the region, we also have 9 world-class leading universities. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail later. But what is unique is that we have a large student population, and a large part of them decide to stay with us year on year. So every year after they graduate, including international students, we retain about somewhere between 50 to 60% of them every year in the region. The final thing I would add is that we are what we call a full service economy. So if we were a country of our own, we've managed to do all the banking, accounting services, manufacturing, everything can be serviced within our region. And we also have a large amount of R&D assets, test beds in the region, over 100 of them. Next slide, please. The one after. Thank you. So in terms of sectors, there are 5 sectors that we identify we are European, if not world leading in. The first one is our future mobility and advanced manufacturing sector. So I talked about our very strong automotive sector, which we produce about 1/3 of the UK export. But what is interesting is that we actually have a much larger proportion of the UK automotive R&D. So about 70% of the UK automotive R&D happens in our region. Some of the world-leading research spans not just in connected autonomous vehicle and battery technology, but also in the likes of very light rail and also in sort of aerospace and other sectors. The second sector, which we are very strong at, is creative digital and technology. You've heard a lot about that from Kath earlier, and obviously Birmingham Tech Week is a very good embodiment of all that for you to engage. So some of the opportunities sort of span from sort of 5G technology, cybersecurity, IoT, but we also have a very strong and vibrant sort of gaming sector. So 25% of the UK gaming export comes from our region. The third sector, which is our largest sector of employment, is business, professional, and financial services. So major corporations, major banks have moved up from London to Birmingham in recent years, which includes the likes of HSBC that moved their UK headquarters from London to Birmingham. We've also had Goldman Sachs, the leading US investment bank. They were looking to create what they call the engineering hub, which is the tech office. They looked all across Europe and they decided to come to Birmingham. A very strong testament to our opportunities and cluster. We also have a very strong sort of professional services, which include accountants, lawyers. Some of the largest regional offices are all based in our region. The fourth sector is around data-driven healthcare and life sciences. So in large parts of the UK, they are very focused on pharmaceutical, which is around sort of medicine development. For us, we have a slightly unique offer where we're very interested in data and medical devices, in collecting that medical device in those clinical trials and analyzing all those trends. So that interface between hardware and software is what we're really strong at. The final sector is low carbon, which we see the biggest amount of growth potential in the coming decade. So a couple of initiatives that are happening at our region. The first one is we are building a gigafactory right next to Jaguar Land Rover's headquarters, and hopefully supplying a lot of the electric vehicles that will be produced in the region and the UK. The other area which we're very strong at is energy network management. So we have very strong expertise on energy storage, energy distribution, and some of the leading companies in the UK, the likes of E.ON, National Grid, are all headquartered here. The final sector, the final sort of subsector of strength is around modern methods of construction, particularly around Wolverhampton, where we have Europe's largest modern methods construction campus, trialing technology in modular house building, land remediation in terms of taking pollutants out of the land to build homes and offices again. Next slide, please. So on this slide, you can see some of our biggest investors that have come in over the last 10, 15 years. And there's a real spread, obviously some from US, but increasingly we're also seeing a lot of investment from India, where they see us as the huge tech hub and are looking to do a lot of the leading R&D in the region. So you'll probably recognize a lot of the names in the first 4 rows, which are big brand names across the world. What you probably won't recognize are some of the names in the bottom 2 rows. And the bottom 2 rows are some of the smaller companies, but future unicorns that we have been supporting from around the world to create a base in the region. And that is via a program called the Global Growth Program, in particular the CleanTech Hub, which is funded by the DIATOMIC program in collaboration with partners on this call. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail. Next slide, please. The other thing I'll probably mention briefly, other than the Global Growth Program, we also have what we call the investment zones. And there are 3 of them across the region, one in Birmingham, one in Wolverhampton, and one in Coventry. In these areas, there are substantial tax benefits. So for companies that are looking to relocate there, they will get benefits from business rates relief. So the local authority, local government tax, you're exempt from that. You also don't pay what we call the employer's national insurance contribution. So some of the sort of taxes that you have to pay when you employ staff in these locations, you're exempt from that. You also get very generous capital allowance. So if you're looking to build anything in these places, if you're looking to buy any machinery, build a factory, all of that is tax deductible. And you also don't pay any stamp duty if you're looking to acquire any land. So any of that property tax, the cost of purchasing a land is also substantially reduced. Next slide, please. The one after. Next one, please. So this slide talks a little bit about our Global Growth Program, which we launched earlier, and we currently are continuing on with this very successful program. So this program includes actually not 5, but 6 locations across the region. What we offer is fully supported, 9 months of fully supported environment for international companies to come in and do business. We are looking for companies in 4 areas: clean tech, med tech, future mobility, and digital tech. And in the sort of 2024-25 financial year, we've managed to attract quite a large amount of firms that created over 400 jobs. What we are, in terms of support, we would break it down into 3 layers. So if we start from the bottom on the right-hand side, the first layer is sponsored workspace for 9 months. And The second part is a sector-specific programs bespoke to your company's requirement. And then finally, sort of international support for company founders or staff that you might be looking to come over and relocate to the UK. Next slide, please. So in terms of requirements, we are looking for foreign-owned companies, so any of the companies, Korean companies on this call, obviously you would be eligible for that. The second thing is that you need to be ready to settle in the UK. So you need to have sort of a clear plan, what you're planning to do in the UK, why you need to set up a base, and you need to secure a visa. It is, if that's not something you have looked at or you need support, we might be able to introduce you to partners who can do that. And the final thing is kind of a commitment to the region. So during the first 9 months, we look to you to use the West Midlands as your office address, ideally with 3 members of staff operating in the region, and within a 3-year time frame to recruit sort of over 10 people. For us, we would judge the application based on your business fit with the region, what business impact you'll be able to add, whether you'll be able to complement our supply chain, as well as our wider business community. And finally, we would also judge based on your strength of your business plan, whether that is feasible or there's anything that we can do to help and make you your transition into the UK a bit easier. Next slide, please. So honing in a little bit more into the CleanTech sector, I talked about the 3 layers of support. So if we start from the top, the first one is the international support, and some of that includes sort of business introductions, so introducing you to some of the potential customers, government agencies, universities that might be able to help you. The second thing is around market amplification. So if you're looking to publicize about your companies entering into the UK, we can help you. The third area is around relocation support. So if you're a founder that's looking to come to the UK, we can help you in terms of finding temporary accommodation, advise on locations with school areas if your kids are coming to study here. We also have sort of innovation cluster access to introducing you to some of the key ecosystem players. And finally, sort of join this community membership. So over the last 3 years, as we've been running this program, there's an increasingly large cohort of active companies, international companies that are based in the region, and we'll get you introduced to that, where we organize regular events every month. So you get together and sort of share some of the challenges that you're facing and understand what other international companies are doing here. So focusing in terms of the CleanTech strand of the Global Growth Program, we offer 5 subsector programs of support. If you're joining this program, you can pick any one that is of most value to you. We can also tailor it so we get you plugged into the other ones. So within the CleanTech area, we offer a detailed program for companies that are interested in, firstly, in battery storage. Second area is around bioenergy and biochar. The third one is decarbonized heat and power. The fourth one is land remediation. And the final one is waste to value. So using sort of household waste in terms of extracting useful materials of that to create sort of commercial value. So these are the 5 subsector programs that we offered sort of detailed support. If you're looking to innovate, we're looking to commercialize, we can help you with that. Outside of these 5 areas, we also have opportunities in the wider Global Growth Program. So I mentioned about the 3 other sort of tech areas that we talked about. So for example, the future mobility one, there's one which is focused on electrification. So if you're looking to be part of the supply chain on producing electric cars, there's a program in plugging you into the existing ecosystem in the region. On the digital tech side, for example, we also have a stream that focuses on cybersecurity. So, for example, your company might be focused on battery storage, but there is a cybersecurity element to it. We can also plug you into that. So it's a flexible program that is really tailored to what you're looking to do in the region. The final aspect is the sponsored workspace at the bottom. So we do have a very active events calendar across the year, which includes obviously Birmingham Tech Week, which if you're looking to join this program, you would get access to. We also organize some of the investor engagement. So if you're looking to raise funding, we organize some of the pitching sessions with private equity funds. If you're looking to understand about how UK government operates, how they procure, how government looks to recruit for suppliers, we also do some masterclasses on that. The second area is for the duration of this program, you get free funded desk for 9 months, which you can use as your registered office. That would be your main base. I mentioned there are 5 other locations or 6 locations in total. You will also get access to the other 5 locations, which you can use as a meeting space to meet with clients or to do some of the R&D collaboration. And final thing is around business support. So it's a fully, all of the 6 locations are fully serviced offices. So there'll be people who are taking your mail, who can answer the phones. It's fully serviced, so you bring your laptop, plug in, and you're ready to go. So the rationale for the program is to really make your journey into the UK a lot easier, so you can focus on doing business as well as develop your R&D offer. Next slide, please. So in terms of the 5 subsector programs within CleanTech, we work some with the leading partners. The likes of University of Birmingham, Aston University, also Coventry University, who are some of the European, if not world-leading authorities in these areas. And there's also the likes of UK Battery Industrialisation Centre, which is a government-funded R&D centre looking at the future production of battery. So as part of the program, you get access to all these partners, and they would be able to support you in terms of IP development, but also in looking at some of the possible UK R&D grants that can support your company. Next slide, please. So the Global Growth Programme is available to all companies from Korea. We would really encourage you to have a look at it. It's quite a generous, supportive program that helps companies access opportunities here. So from the QR link, you can get access to our website. And if you would like to have a more detailed conversation, or you have any questions about your company's particular circumstances, whether we're able to support, we would be very happy to talk to you. Next slide. Okay, so I think that's where my presentation finishes. I'll hand it back to Louise.
Thank you, Chris. This was a very detailed and explanation about the programs, and then how Ulsan stakeholders can join and be part of. I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen, and then we're gonna move to our Q&A session, where anyone can ask questions. So we will ask Chris and Kat to come back and be available. If you can turn on your videos and audios. So if you have any questions, please drop on the Q&A section on the bottom of the Zoom meeting. So just just to complement what Chris was mentioned, so you see a number of partners over there as Ulsan University and also University of Birmingham with their Energy Institute, but also they're also partners in this program. So Ulsan University and University of Birmingham with Birmingham City University as well. They also collaborate with UNIS and University of Ulsan. So they're also creating this connection, and then we are working together to create a cohesive program where bilateral collaboration is the focus. So perhaps while we're waiting, if anyone have questions, I would just maybe perhaps talk to Kat and to Chris. So if a company has some interesting widely set it up, as you mentioned, in the West Midlands, and then because Ulsan and Birmingham are collaborating, we have the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter, which is very in the center of the city, and there's a lot of those spaces we offer. So we have a question from Charlie in a second. I will give you a hand. But if you could, both you could also mention how companies that want to set it up in Birmingham Knowledge Quarter or widely can benefit for having that ecosystem around them, inclusive Ulsan University and Birmingham City University, also with University of Birmingham also have buildings and their spaces over there, and of course Tech West Midlands is also based over there. So if you could give also a vision, a quick overview on how they can benefit once they set it up. Of course, they have your support, but in general, how they can benefit from Birmingham innovation ecosystem.
Kath, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do. So once you land, and the soft landing program that Chris explained earlier, the Global Growth Program is a really great way to enter the Midlands. It does give you access to the ecosystem and also to free desk space, as he said. The Midlands have got lots of universities who all run events and accelerators for example, for high growth businesses or for specific areas, photonics or specific areas of tech, which you can, depending on your business and the sector that you're in, there's a lot of research potential, knowledge transfer partnerships, which enable you to have staff brought into your business and supported by academics to really further the R&D work that your business is doing, as well as lots of other events and sort of business support activities that they provide to help you in terms of learning business techniques and sales strategies that you would find in a typical business school at a university. As well as that, we have special interest groups that are run by Tech WM. We have those in AI, cyber, quantum after January, and also 5G, Internet of Things. And so through those special interest groups, you can easily meet with other people and the key stakeholders that are operating in each of those areas. And you can also attend forums which are much bigger than the special interest groups. So the special interest groups have about 20 to 30 people involved, and they are kind of the key stakeholders that are driving forward those disciplines. And then we have forums, which we have about between 100 and 150 people come to a forum, and that's for the wider community and the businesses involved in the community to really understand the direction of travel so that you can prepare your business appropriately. There's lots of private sector support for businesses. For example, there's a NatWest Accelerator. Some of those announcements that I talked about at the end of Tech Week last year, if you're a female founder, once you have a registered address in the Midlands, then you would be eligible for all of the female founder activities. So yeah, there's a broad support here. I'll let Chris follow up on some more specifics.
Yes, no, thanks, Kath. So I think Kath covered a lot on the business side. I think it is worth mentioning the likes of the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter is really a big cluster already, an existing cluster of tech companies. But it's also in a very interesting location. So it's right next to where HS2 will be built. So it'll be connecting us to London in less than an hour. So some of the large corporates are already looking to relocate up here because they see the West Midlands as a much more cost-effective location to be operating from. So if you are located in the Knowledge Quarter, you are almost closer to London than some of the other parts of London. So taking the train, you get into London very quickly soon. The other aspect, obviously, is the students and graduates. So there are some fantastic students who are doing their postgraduate studies at Aston, BCU, University of Birmingham, those universities, and being located there, you can get some of them to come in to work as interns, but also work in your company. In the UK, we also have quite generous what we call apprenticeship schemes for sort of skilled workers who decide not to go to university, but to develop their skill set in that sort of company environment instead. So equally, you would be able to go for that scheme where government will be subsidising quite a large amount of their salary. So depending on your company operations, that's certainly something you can access. If you decide to join the Global Growth Programme, we would be assigning someone to look after you, to account manage you. So we'll be looking to see whether you need a bit more support from a tax perspective or from accessing or understanding how sort of the local authorities or public sector work. We'll be able to help you navigate a lot of that. So it's really tailored support that is available to Korean companies who decide to join via the Global Growth Programme.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kat. Charlie had a question. So they're asking, what advice could you give to Korean SMEs aiming to enter the UK market? So we cover a lot of aspects of the support and the thematics that the West Midlands, but the UK is also focused. But we know that some cultural changes, differences, language. So perhaps if you could give a little bit some advice, but also some guidance on how you can also get the barrier. So I arrive in the UK, that's quite a different scenario. So how SMEs could go around and really explore the opportunities and engage in this vast and interesting ecosystem, but also, of course, how they might be working and linking with our Ulsan partners to also help that that transition, if I may say.
I'll probably start first. I would definitely encourage any Korean companies that are looking to enter the UK to come and visit. And I think a really good time is to come during Birmingham Tech Week. So the brilliant program that Tech WM is organising is a great way for you to understand what's happening in the UK and how your company's technology can fit into all of that. It's a really good way for you to network and meet potential customers, suppliers as well. Some of the social events, literally bring your business card and you will meet the right people. But I think I'll probably let Kath do a bit more selling about Birmingham Tech Week. But I think in terms of more generally about the UK, I think it's really important to understand what the marketplace is. I think the UK is a relatively fast-moving market, whereas my understanding in Korean market, some of it is quite dominated by some of the large conglomerates. I think in the UK, some of the fast-moving technology firms do manage to break through. The second element is that I think the UK is a very well-capitalized market. So outside of US, I think it's the place where you're able to raise the most amount of funding. So if getting listed at some point into the stock market, raising more finances is something you consider. Obviously, the UK is very well positioned. The other element, obviously, to consider, I would suggest, is probably looking at the geopolitics, because there are some challenges at the moment in terms of whether it's the supply chain or whether it's tariffs, etc. And I would say the UK's been in a very positive position so far. So understanding sort of how your products would fit into that, who you'd be looking to supply, and who sort of your existing competitors would be. And the final element I've talked about earlier is the UK has very generous R&D grants, but also a tax regime for companies that are looking to do research and development in the UK. So if your company is very heavy on research and development, I would certainly encourage you to consider the UK, and partnering with the partners who are on this program, whether it's via the Ulsan side or whether it's via the universities here. They would be best placed to advise in terms of where you can get some of the grant fundings, but also how to navigate the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think Chris covered it all there, really. For sure, we would love you to come to Birmingham Tech Week, and we do think that is a brilliant way to see what the tech scene is doing in the region and how you can fit into that structure of the ecosystem here. It would be a good opportunity also for you to find out about the maturity of the different sectors that we have and where you fit in that curve, so that you can find people to learn from and also people to that you are contributing to. So one of the ways that you could, so essentially you need to make sure that you can validate your market here. So although something might work obviously in Ulsan in Korea, it might not work in the UK for lots of reasons. Sometimes that's literal mechanics, you know. We use different products and systems, so depending on what things can be, it could literally be an engineering issue, or it might be if it's a digital product or service. Then sometimes the human behaviours that we have in the UK might mean that it's not something that is as feasible for consumers to use as elsewhere. So the first thing to do really is to validate your product, but you would get support to do that from all of these kind of accelerators and the Global Growth Programme that we mentioned. We have entrepreneurs in residence in nearly every innovation asset in the Midlands who coach and support businesses in their growth journeys. So the best advice I have is to not be shy in asking for that help. It is very common practice, and you know, it's normal business behaviour in the Midlands for businesses to ask for the support that they need to grow their business. And so, yeah, my advice really is to make sure that you put your hand up and make it known where your gaps are in kind of your growth journey, and the help that would be useful to your business in joining.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Chris. So we have a couple other questions here I will do in a moment. But also I think a follow-up question would be, Chris and Kat, you mentioned, so the UK and Birmingham is a very good place for R&D. So very heavily focused. We have wonderful institutes and partners that are innovating through existing opportunities that Birmingham has. And Chris and Kat last February had a chance to visit Ulsan, so we saw a lot of our partners, so UCCI, UTP, but also Hyundai, Shipmaker. So we saw a lot of this advanced manufacturing or large-scale test beds, I would say, which is quite positive. And then sometimes in the UK, it's something that we struggle a little bit to really go and do that large test. And we see that our partners in Ulsan have a large infrastructure. So I think a follow-up question would be, so what that good symbiosis will be. So they come to here, they're settling in Birmingham, they have the partners, they're investing in R&D as well. But then how is that opportunity also to link the complementaries that Ulsan offers to stakeholders? So if there is Kat might be speak a little bit on how that synergy is very positive for those SMEs set in Birmingham, accessing this ecosystem, but at the same time keeping the links and engagement with our partners in Ulsan.
Sorry, did you want me to comment there?
Yes, either you or Chris.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because we share the partnership with Ulsan, there are ways that we try to provide business and knowledge opportunities around innovation for both of those, for businesses on both sides of that. So we do have, for example, opportunities through the Horizon calls and R&D opportunities, which businesses can join and be therefore linked to R&D institutions in the Midlands, or vice versa, to be introduced to and more than introduced, actually be in work developing new R&D innovations with those institutions. We also do quarterly webinars and would try to feed information that you can provide about your journey in the UK. We then help give that back to other businesses that are considering to do the same, and vice versa, people who kind of joined the UK but maybe 12 months ago, and you know, we can link you up to businesses where there's commonalities in your either your sector or your stage on that innovation journey.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I think that goes kind of in line with the next question that we have posted here on our chat, which is Birmingham is very attractive for startups, for entrepreneurs, and the question was which local partner would be the most value to meet, especially in the green tech. So perhaps I will start answer that, but Kat or Chris, if you have anything to add, please add. So I think one of the first things would be contact maybe your local partner in Ulsan, so which one you're working, so it can be or UCCI Global Strategy Team Lead, Ms. Lee, that's closely collaborating with Tech West Midlands and engage in the programs and see the best route. But also, of course, you have Tech West Midlands and the Growth Company contact, so they also can help you in identify this matchmaking and see who is the best partner. But as Chris and Kat mentioned during Tech Week, so you saw the overall program, but Kat and Chris might know we also working with the academics and Birmingham City Council to create a tailored program, either workshops or small forums that's very tailored to the Ulsan Birmingham partnership during that week. So if you're attending that, we aim to provide a lot of specific opportunities where our friends from Ulsan can really be target engagement. Kat and Chris, if you have anything to add, but probably for the most casual things, they ask that for you guys are based in Birmingham and it can be help us better. So if you're visiting West Midlands or Birmingham for the first time, what people should really experience were there. So to you too.
Louise, just to add on your first point, I understand we're still building the program for our Korean sort of delegation visitors who are coming over. But I think if you're particularly interested in green technology sector, one of the key assets in the Birmingham West Midlands region is a place called Tyseley Energy Park, which University of Birmingham does a number of their sort of test trials, a number of their new research on that place. So a number of things I talked about, sort of the low or zero carbon energy fuel from waste, or so producing hydrogen, electric charging, biogas, biodiesel, a lot of those take places there. It's also one of the 6 locations, which is part of the Global Growth Program via this DIATOMIC program. So if you're interested in that sort of green tech sector, certainly that would be a place worth visiting. The other one, which I'm sure will be featured, is the EBRI Centre, which looks at sort of bioenergy by sort of Aston University, who is part of this program as well. But coming back to Louis' point, I think Birmingham Tech Week is a really good venue where I think all of these partners are already in place, so you can meet all of them then. In terms of the casual question you've got, I think everyone's got a very different experience when they come to the Birmingham and West Midlands. The region is very diverse, very different. So we have all different communities there. We're also extremely famous for our curry. So if you do have the time, I would really encourage you to come and try our famous curry. There are a couple of other things which we are quite famous for. So Shakespeare, for example, William Shakespeare comes from our region. We have Europe's largest library in Birmingham. So if you've got time, I would encourage you to visit there. And we do have a Shakespeare suite, which you've got a very good view across the city. The other thing probably worth mentioning is our Cadbury chocolate factory. So Cadbury is started and headquartered in Birmingham, and it's they do open the factory for tours in case you're interested.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add there. I think they're all great suggestions. Bye, Chris. Also, a lot of international visitors like the Black Country Museum, which is kind of a historic look back into, it's like an interactive museum and a life, like a real village, but that's kept in the style of many years ago. So you can kind of get the sense of British history and where industry came from. That's very specific to the Midlands. Depending what time of year you come, we have a lovely Christmas market, which has been in the city for a number of years as a result of international partnerships that we have with Germany. And yeah, there's lots of canals in Birmingham, so there's always lots of activities and yeah, there's attractive canals if you just like walking and to experience a bit of green within the city dynamic. So yeah, there's plenty to do here.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kat. So
I forgot to mention our football teams, unfortunately. Birmingham City, Aston Villa and Wolves, which I understand has Korean players. So if you come during the football season, certainly encourage you to come and watch one of the football games. Sorry, Louise.
Yeah, no, that's great. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kat. We're coming to the end of our webinar for today. But I think we'll share a couple next steps, but I think that was a great opportunity for Ulsan to understand all the attractives in Birmingham. We visit a couple of times, we engage with them, but always new audience, new innovators are always presenting and interesting. So yeah, for those SMEs that are looking to engage with Birmingham, again, I will put this on their email following those that register with more detail, but please, you have the contacts for more speakers, but also please contact our partners, UCCI or UTP, UNIS, and University of Ulsan that are engaged with a number of stakeholders in Birmingham, so they also can direct you. I will also add to the email that we have access with YouTube link of this webinar, but also the presentations from Tech West Midlands and the Growth Company as the introduction of the program at the beginning. And also we'll drop you Microsoft form link where everybody that has an idea that wants to collaborate with Birmingham can or between Ulsan, you can just register there. And then between Catapult and our partners, we will try to find potential matches for that project or our company. Helping a lot. To encourage also you to keep an eye on Tech West Midlands website, where you can get the Birmingham Tech Week updates, so you can see the full official program, but we also will update our stakeholders on the specifics for that week. And one last thing, just to share, again, as part of this webinar series, so today we're presenting presenting Birmingham ecosystem to our colleagues in Ulsan. And next week we have Ms. Lee and the 4 SMEs that will be selected to attend Birmingham Tech Week with them. So they will be presenting about Ulsan innovation ecosystem, their innovators also and then we will probably opportunity where a number of our Birmingham companies and SMEs will be attending the webinar as well, doing questions. So it's another opportunity to engage. If you have any other questions, please don't just drop us an email and we will try to answer. Otherwise, I will see you next. Thank you very much to everybody, and please have a lovely day and evening in Ulsan. 감사합니다.
Bye all. Bye.